Memories, matchsticks, malt liquor. Plenty of things begin with the letter M, most of which I have lots of experience with. But there's one thing I don't get too often. Murder. July, 1959. It was a cold and rainy night, just like every night when I get an exciting case. If I had known what was in store for me, I might not have gotten up. I had a feeling I knew it would be on the other side of that knock. It seems all too often when I found myself at the bottom of a bottle, I'd find myself saying hello to Sally.
Hello, Jack. Did you miss me?
I didn't want to answer, so I just turned and invited her in. I knew she wasn't going to bring me anything but trouble, but I was bored and cash was tight. I asked her what brought her around this time of night. She said,
Jack, the most dreadful thing happened last night. I came home and... Oh.
At this point, Sally started losing it, and big time. I caught her in my arms.
Please, Jack. Please, you've got to help me. I know I haven't been the best to you in the past, but I don't know who else I can turn to.
I couldn't leave a damsel in distress like this. Whatever had her so worked up was big. And when something was big enough to get Sally excited, it had to be worth the investigation. I sat Sally down and asked her to tell me what had happened, and then she did.
I don't know where to begin. I guess it all started about 2 months ago. This is really hard for me to say. It was all just so confusing back then. I hope you'll forgive me. Tony's dead.
I had just gotten my pen to start working and was ready to hear her story.
Do you think you can help me, Jack? Come on, you gotta help me.
I looked at her for a minute, stood up, and walked out the door. I don't know when she left. All I know is when I came back in later, she was gone. I decided to take a walk, because a walk always clears my head. I'd go through the facts. What did I know happened? As it turned out, not much. So I had to go find out more. I decided to talk to one of my old buddies from the war. He had fallen in with a rough crowd, and so he would know just what had been going on. That's me, by the way. I'm Jack, Jackson Kane. Intrepid private eye, quick on the case, smooth with the ladies. But now it's time for me to get to work. I really have to get that lamp fixed. I grabbed Jimmy Two Eyes by the front of the shirt and said, hello. A rat like him would have to know everything seedy going on in this town.
Whoa, hey Jackson, what are you doing down here?
I told him what I was doing down there. Then I asked Jimmy what he knew about Sally's case.
Sally Flatwell's? I don't know what you're talking about, Jackie.
Jimmy was lying. I knew he knew something about someone who knew something, so I decided to persuade him.
Okay. So, maybe I saw what happened, but I didn't do nothing, I swear.
I knew he was holding out on me, so I continued to grill him.
Okay, fine. So, I was minding my own business, and I talked to her a bit. That's all. I says to her, you have a nice dish. I was just minding my own business, and I says to her, you have a nice dish. I swear, that's all I did. I didn't do nothing wrong. She had a nice dish, okay? She had a nice dish.
I didn't understand his fascination with dishes. I didn't care, to be honest. I just wanted the facts.
All right, fine. So maybe later, I was taking a mighty close look at that dish. But it's not often Vito has such nice dishes in his place, you know? But I was just looking, okay? I didn't touch it, and I didn't see nothing else, I swear. You're gonna take me in, aren't you? Okay. What? You're not slapping handcuffs on me? Gee, thanks, you're the best. I owe you one. I owe you a big one. Anything you want, I can get it for you. I can do that. Hey, you want a dish?
I wasn't going to get any more out of Two Eyes, so I turned to leave.
Hey, I can get you that dish. She has a nice dish. She has a nice dish. I can get you that dish. What, you don't want the dish? Come on, it's a real nice dish. I can get you the dish. She has the dish. Everybody wins.
I left Jimmy down by the bench and walked back to my office. On the way there, I realized I hadn't eaten, so I phoned one of my regulars and decided to ask around.
Hello, this is Vito's mortuary and delicatessen. You slice them, we slice them. What can I do for you today? You dropping off or picking up?
I wasn't in the mood for the usual banter, so I just ordered a ham and cheese.
Yeah, we don't have any ham. You want a little priest?
No ham. This was shaping up to be the longest night of my life. I made a mental note to contact the owner of Vito's and comment on their lack of availability. Who knew what other secrets lurked in that delicious delicatessen?
Hey buddy, are you still there?
On a whim, I asked if the man knew Miss Goodwell.
Who, Sally? Yeah, she was just in here yesterday with that Jackson guy. Said he was a detective based down on 4th Street. Hello?
I didn't know much about this case, but I knew one thing. I hadn't been to Vito's with Sally, and I certainly hadn't been yesterday. I don't know why he thought I worked on 4th Street, but that thought was enough to make me consider getting a new office. I immediately ran off to go see what property was available in that area, and to investigate the murder. I knew I could get used to working in a place like this. Betsy was showing me just the perky qualities I looked for in a new environment.
Mr. Kane, we have a very robust community here. Everyone is positively bouncing with energy. But if you still aren't sure, I'd be more than happy to continue to show you round.
Robust, bouncing, round.
Well, did you see anything that interests you?
I had, and I told Miss Templeton exactly what part of the tour I had liked.
Mr. Kane, I will stand for no more of that tomfoolery.
Betsy was right. I needed to get back to investigating Sally's case. I asked Miss Templeton if she knew any private detectives in the area.
But, Mr. Kane, surely a pet shop owner like yourself has no need for men like that. They're all vile, horrible creatures who objectify women.
I explained that one of my prized parrots had recently gone missing, and I needed someone to look out for him. It was a quick lie, but it did the trick.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, there is a Mr. Jackson C.A. Ian who works just over there. I've never met him before myself, but with a name like that, I assume he's from out of town.
I left Betsy and headed down the road into the night. I was close to solving the case, and I could feel it. This was the place, but it was quiet, too quiet. Whether it was the humidity in the air or the caution tape across the door, I knew something was off. I tried the handle. It was open. I stepped inside. I closed the door behind me. I checked the next room, then closed the door behind me. I didn't hear anyone in the house, so I decided to take a nose around. That's when I found him. Either the imposter had a weird habit of lying face down on the floor, or this guy was dead. There had to be some sort of clue somewhere. I found a note in his pocket. When I unrolled the note, I realized I had been missing something the entire time.
I forgive you, Sally. I will always love you.
I needed to get back to my office, so I left immediately. So Sally and this imposter had been running around lately. There was something going on, and it was serious enough to get one guy killed, maybe two. All I knew was that the last thing one guy had said was that he loved Sally. And then it hit me. It hit me like a train covered in grease lightning going downhill with the wind at its back. Sally, obviously, was at the center of both murders. Why else would she need a fake private eye except to help cover her tracks? I had figured everything out and...
That's right, Jack. You figured everything out.
Sally pointing her magnum at my head. That was certainly a change of pace.
You're too good at your job, Jack. I thought that when I killed Tony and I hired that nobody to pretend to be you while I hid the body, you could take the fall.
Oh my god. She killed Tony. I love Tony like a brother. And he made great pizza.
But then my friend felt guilty and went and put a bullet in his head for you to find. So here we are. You always seem to find yourself at the center of this madness. Any last words?
This was it. The end. Time for me to vamoose or get vamoosed. I'd think quickly, maybe try and stall Sally until Tony came to check up on me. Then all of a sudden I remembered.
Jackie, I got you a dish. It's a real nice dish. Jimmy 2 Eyes.
I slowly reached into the box and pulled out the dish. It was a really nice dish.
Hey, isn't that my...
I whipped the dish across and smashed it on her head. The gun went off, but she missed, and I was able to wrestle it away from her. I got Sally down with her hands by her back and started calling the police, just like old times.
I'll get you back for this, Jack. I swear I'll get you.
And that's the end of the story of Tony the Pizza Man. As they say, M is for murder.